Hello and welcome to the Neil Bailey Rides YouTube channel, episode 12.
Happy 2021, Neil.
Happy New Year, Baz. How are you?
I'm good, but God, dude, 2020, man, what a cheese grater to the taint. I mean, let's just hope that 2021 is just going to be way better.
Is that kind of like a kick in the bollocks?
It is very similar.
Well, never mind the bollocks, Baz. I mean, did you have a good crimbo?
I did have a good crimbo. That's British for Christmas. Super relaxing, eggnog, Netflix, and our good friend Nicole Kidman sent me a wad of cash in the mail. So that's how I got us the teleprompter.
Well, it's no wonder we're so much smoother tonight, Baz.
We are smoother, but you know, he charges by the hour, so let's keep
Okay, so to the show.
to the show.
Hey, so on the show tonight, you don't have a clue, right? So I'll do it. Okay, so we have a great little shameless plug tonight. Got some products.
Okay.
We have a really cool interview with our friend Douglas Jacobsen.
Right.
He's a road racer.
Yep.
And you have some news.
I have some stuff. Yeah, I got a couple of different ideas. What products do we have tonight?
Oh, can't tell you. Got to wait for shameless plug.
Oh, man.
So to the main event.
To it.
Well, I'm excited tonight to bring my friend Douglas Jacobsen to the set, and we are motorcycle track day buddies, dirt bike riders. We met in about
14, 15, somewhere in there-ish.
Doing track day.
Yep. Carolina Motorsports Park with US Desmo at the time.
Right, and I was, at that time, my Yamaha R6 was fairly stock. I hadn't crashed at that point.
Yep, you had just brought it out for testing, actually. That was one of the first tests that you were doing with it.
Right, and I think we had the Cogent Dynamic suspension, we had the first round of Continental tires.
Yep, I believe you had just finished that.
Yep, so Douglas and I have been friends for a number of years. We've done a bunch of track days together. We've ridden in the dirt together. He actually has been doing some racing and had a pretty successful year this year in Wera. What was the class?
That was Wera Novice. It was the B class, B Super Stock, B Super Bike, which is the 750cc class. So it did quite well.
Right, and what we'll probably do is run a couple of the videos that you made, because you had some really cool GoPro videos of you scything through the pack and winning lots of races. So.
Yeah, I was able to put together a few. I did a little editing, nothing fancy, but...
Yeah, it was cool. So just to get into Douglas a little bit, so you live in South Carolina, and you're married, and you work for...
I work for a company called Remat, so I'm doing industrial robotics.
Right.
Yep.
It's a real job, pretty technical, right? So anyway, you were 5 years old, you got into dirt bikes, so you started same way most of us do, Pee Wee 50?
Yeah, PW50. The rule in my father raced enduros for a few years, and then the rule in my house was as soon as you could ride a two-wheel bicycle by yourself and balance, that was when you got your dirt bike. So yeah, PW50, and then went to a PW80, KX80, CR125, kind of went up from there, and then eventually got into the street bikes.
Right, but you raced a little bit, a couple of GNCC.
Yeah, so on the
GNC?
back in the day, when I was a teenager, every time it would come around, it was the Big Buck GNCC in South Carolina. Whenever that would come around, I'd usually race that, but I never really raced much on the dirt.
So after your dirt biking career, hung the dirt bikes up, you got into street bikes, and you got an SV650.
Yes, so that was 25, so it was a while until I actually got a street bike. Picked up an SV, rode it on the street for a little while, and then sold the SV, bought the bike I'm on now, which is a 2008 GSXR 750. I bought that actually from my brother, and as soon as I picked that up, then I went to the track in 2013 with it.
So with the SV, so that was an 01 carbureted, if anyone remembers what carburetors were.
Yeah.
So that was your first introduction to the road, to the street,
Yes.
and you didn't take the SV to the track.
No, I did not. Unfortunately. I wish I had, because I've heard they're great on the track.
So you sold the SV and got the Gixxer. Did you immediately take the Gixxer to the racetrack, or?
No, not immediately. I played around on the street for about 6 months, and then I actually got together with my brother. He actually borrowed a friend's bike, and we were able to do our first track day together out on the track. So
it was his idea to go on the track?
Both of ours together. We'd been wanting to get out on the track for a long time, so we've been in dirt. So
who did you do your first track day with?
US Desmo.
Okay, so it was
Yes, it was Desmo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not sure if US Desmo do track days anymore now.
Not anymore. Not anymore. They're still around, but they're not doing track days.
Yeah,
anymore.
it was a really, really wonderful club run by a dear friend of ours, Jim Calandro, and they were the great group of track.
They really were. They really were. Yeah, I really enjoyed riding with them. So it was a shame to see them go.
So you did track days for a number of years, and then what was your decision to go racing?
Well, 2017 was my first time racing. I went out and I raced at Roebling, and then I raced at Road Atlanta. And then on Sunday, there was a massive downpour, so I got to race in the rain for the first time. A lot of fun, but I did go down going into 10A at Road Atlanta. And then after that, I just really kind of set the bike in the garage, never really fixed it, and then that's it. And then I raced 2018, I did one track day. Nothing in 2019, and then that leads us to 2020, where I had one of my friends, Tim Fry. He raced with me this year. He convinced me to pull the bike out. So May of this year, I did an STT event at Barber. I had a lot of fun, and then he convinced me to come out for the July 4th Wearer race at Barber, and then the rest is history.
So quick jump in there. STT is Sport Bike Track Time.
Sport bike track time.
And
Yep,
if you've been following the show, we had Cindy.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, she came on. Cindy and Travis Adler that run STT. So
Yeah,
Cindy
great
came on the
people.
show, and we had a really good chat about how STT works and track days and Cindy's life on the track. So you were actually with them when you did your first. No, not your first race.
Not my first. No, the first race was Wera, yes, but the
Right.
first event that I did here in 2020 was Sport Bike Track Time.
I got you. So,
Yeah.
so tell the guys here real quick. So you raced your first season. Explain novice bikes, what classes you were in, and how.
So
it all
you
went.
have. So I was in B class. So you have three classes, mainly three classes. There are a lot of others, but the main ones are CBA. C being 600cc, B being the 750cc class, and then the A class are the 1000s. So I'm on the 750. So I raced the B class. I raced B Super Stock and B Super Bike. Super Stock class, you have to keep most things stock, whereas the Super Bike would give you a little more leeway. But I was able to, I raced both of those, both classes at every event from July 4th on. I raced everywhere event, and I was able to take home the championship.
So how many race weekends did you do last year?
Um,
Because it was 2 races per weekend or more.
the races, the weekends, there were 4 races per weekend. So I had a B Super Stock race and B Super Bike race, one each day. So 2 races Saturday, 2 races Sunday.
Right.
So 4 a weekend. And let's see, from July all the way through October, there was roughly 1 wear event per month.
Excellent, yeah. So because your bike is super stock legal, you can, if you want, you can run it in super bike.
Yes,
You couldn't
absolutely.
do it the other way around, have a super bike legal one.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. So you've got plans for 2021, right? You're going to race, but you're not going to race as a novice this year, right?
Yeah, so because I won the championship this year, I get bumped up to expert now. So now I get to ride with the big boys, the fast guys.
So what will you be racing against, or what did you race against this year?
Unfortunately, the grid does not fill up with 750s. Most of the 750 class consists of 600 guys that bump up and race with the 750. Now, my 750 doesn't have a built motor or anything. I'm not running race fuel. If you get a guy that has a good built 600 running MR12, he can be pretty close to my numbers, horsepower numbers on my 750. So it's actually, the guys on the 600s can be quite competitive against the 750.
Yeah, well, I've watched your YouTube videos. I mean, you've had some good battles with these guys.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It really
Yeah.
has. Yeah, we have had a good time.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. You can actually get to ride along with Douglas and see him racing with these guys. So, well, we've got a little something that we want to talk about. For this year, you're going to, again, race in the expert class. And our hopes are that he will be racing for us here at the channel. And he's, I think, downplayed his YouTube videos because they're really quite nice. So he'll try and step up and chat a little bit to us. So what we're hoping is that he will be able to bring us to the racetrack with him. And make some videos for us, run them at the channel, and
Yep.
we can actually kind of come along with you on your race series.
Sounds great. It's going
Yeah.
to be fantastic.
So, guys, a quick visit today with our friend Douglas, and say, you know, another buddy from the motorcycle world. We've had some lot of fun riding dirt bikes together. So, did we talk about your dirt bike?
No.
No. Come on, tell us about your dirt bike before we go, because he's pretty fast in the dirt too.
Real quick, so I'm on a 2019 KTM 300 XCW TPI, so that's the fuel-injected two-stroke. I've been waiting 10 years. We all knew it was coming, so I've been waiting 10 years, and as soon as they came out with it, I ran straight to the dealership and picked one up. First brand new dirt bike ever, so happy about that, stoked about that.
Are we going to be doing some dirt bike riding this year?
Absolutely.
All right.
Very much looking forward to it.
So when my Husky gets done, we'll have to go out and go at it again. So.
Oh, for sure.
All right, Douglas. Well, thank you for coming in. I hope you guys enjoyed that. A local, we're a road racer today, and a friend of ours from track and street and dirt. Okay, guys. Welcome to the shameless plug section, and I've got a couple of small items today. So I want to kick off with these heroic race gloves, and no, Douglas, you are not getting them. So. I don't know if you know him, Douglas, but I have a very good friend in the industry, Todd McNaby, and he has a company, Heroic, custom-made racing leathers and gloves. Just racing leathers and gloves, I think. Douglas is nodding in the background. So here we have one pair of extremely, really cool race gloves to the track from Todd McNaby at Heroic Racing. So thank you very much for that. I have another little item here. This is an Aerostitch neck warmer, or I guess with COVID it could double up as a face mask. It is winter here in Charlotte, North Carolina, even though the heat is on in the studio, so we're nice and warm. So really, really nice, effective little thing. It's waterproof, tuck it down your shirt, it's windproof, and it's got a really nice, cozy little liner inside. So huge fan of Andy Goldfine of Aerostitch. I don't know if you guys know him. He has been around forever. He was one of the first people to start making adventure touring gear, waterproof gear, protective gear. So big shout out to Andy Goldfine from Aerostitch for some really, really nice product there for this winter riding. And lastly but not least, we have a Roadrunner magazine subscription sent to us by our good friend Florian Newhauser. It is America's premier touring and travel magazine. God, sounds like a hemorrhoid commercial, doesn't it? This is America's premier. But anyway, so we do have a free subscription to Roadrunner magazine, and we are hoping that the editor and owner and man in charge of this publication will be with us on our next episode. So that's our shameless plug.
Hey, you guys. Basil, episode 12. Thank you for tuning back in. Where do I start? So much to cover. 2020, like I said in the intro, just awful. You know what I mean? But we've got this. It's a new year, new mindset, and I'm excited. I think we got this. And one of the tools I've been using is watching movies obsessively, just to completely disconnect from things. And in that process, I have rediscovered the film Altered States. You might know this, I want to say mid-early 80s. About a dude, scientist, who gets some ayahuasca, decides to pair that up with a deprivation chamber. Okay, good stuff here, right? Turns out there's a local deprivation chamber. Don't have to do the ayahuasca unless you got some, which would be really cool. You get in there, it's like a giant bathroom with a pod, okay? This is True Rest over on Pecan. Worth every penny. Get the Groupon. And you go in, it's water in a giant egg that's packed with like Epsom salts. And you go in there and you lay back and you're floating on top of water, which is cool in and of itself. That's worth the price of entry right there. Close the lid and you're floating on water. And, put on music, stretch out. But the idea is you are completely disconnected from reality, which I think we all need a little of right now. I booked one for Neil earlier this week. He's mixed on it, but, it was his first time. I think you got to break the ice and just get in there. So for me personally, sometimes I do a little bit of drugs. But you can go in totally clean and have a hallucinogenic experience, which you should probably do. They probably frown on. I never did the drugs. So you go in there, you lay back in the water, and it's great. I mean, it's like you could fall asleep in there and not die because it's only 10 inches of water. And it's great. And so, back to altered states. This dude regresses. He eats ayahuasca. He regresses back to like a simple primate and literally changes his, physiology, which is cool. But I don't want to regress, okay? I did a little bit last time I went. And, so I'm back in like the 80s. It was weird. All of a sudden it's like, gummy shoes and friendship bracelets and, bag phones. And, I had Nicole Kidman on my mind because she sent us a big chunk of change, over Christmas to keep the show going. Thank you, Nicole. But then I get thinking about BMX Bandits, which is probably still her best film. In fact, I'm hoping for a BMX Bandits 2. Fingers crossed. And next thing you know, I'm thinking about BMX. And so all of a sudden I'm 13 again. I've regressed to the 80s. And so, it was like playing Army, and then it was like, BMX, and then it was like skateboarding, which I still skate. And, but back then in the 80s, that was dirt bike days. That was like my first motorcycle. And my dad like completely flooded my basement by getting me an XR80 Honda. Brand new, ridiculous. Like, I wish I had it. I'm an idiot for ever selling it. Somebody punched me in the face. But yeah, throughout this whole regression, I'm just like, what am I doing? Like, not being back on my dirt bike. Like, that's the essence. I need these like, 80s youthful vibes in my life. So throughout this process, full circle, I've decided to, get on Craigslist and get a dirt bike, and get hurt in the dirt. I do have kind of only half of a collarbone on this side, and bank art repair from like 4 dislocations on this side, some snowboarding. But hey, no guts, no glory, and I miss it. And Neil's always out having fun on his. And so I think it's time. So let me know if you got one. And I'm going to be scouring Craigslist. And it's going to be a good year. Let's get out there. Let's all go out there and ride together. Good night.
It was a big day on Jesus Ranch, Jesus Ranch. He was harvesting a big tomato. It was in the sand, alright. I'm taking a walk in the woods. It's nice outside. Smells of shit. Look at Gwing, look at where go. I come upon a silver striped mushroom and I